This morning, the victims of the bank shooting in Sebring are being remembered for their kind hearts. The 5 victims were all women. 4 of them worked at the bank. Another was a customer. 3 of those victims have been identified. Anna Pignon Williams was a 38-year-old mother of 7. Cynthia Watson was the only customer inside the bank when that shooting happened. Her family and friends knew she was at the bank when they saw her red SUV in the parking lot during the news coverage. How sad is that? And 55-year-old Marisol Lopez was a teller inside that bank. She's being described as always going out of her way to help others. The 2 other victims were 31 and 54 years old, respectively. Sebring police declined to identify them Thursday at the request of their families. 10 News reporter Emerald Morrow is live in Sebring right now, where the community gathered to honor the victims of those killed last night. Emerald, good morning.
Good morning, Rob. You know, the last time that most people probably saw this bank, there was a huge hole in the front where that SWAT truck had to ram through the entrance. But as you can see right now, it's all boarded up. And in many ways, this is the start to the healing process as the community really tries to literally fill this void that has been marked by tragedy. But the community has been coming together in many other ways as they work to mend. Take a look at this video. Emotion is still very, very raw this morning, as dozens of people gathered last night at Emmanuel United Church of Christ in Sebring to remember the victims of Wednesday's shooting. A candle was lit for each woman who was killed. Several people did come up to speak and remember their friends.
Our community identity is surely challenged in tragic acts as we witnessed yesterday.
To remember, honor, and mourn the death of 5 amazing women.
And you tell your children, I'll see you later, and you have plans for later. But later never came for them. And that's all I think of, you know. We don't know if later is going to come for us. And it's very sad to think that this happened in a small community, but then again, this is happening everywhere.
Now, this pastor really wanted this church to be a very safe space for the community to come together and grieve. And after the services last night, they all joined hands and prayed. Now, we have been working around the clock to give you more information about the victims and just really let you know what it's like out here in this community of Sebring that has been mourning. And here with me this morning, we do have Bo Zimmer, who has made some really strong connections in this community that is trying so hard to move forward.
Well, Emerald, you and I were together at Marjorie Stoneman Douglas, and
absolutely,
as we remember, those names would come out one by one of the different victims, and with each name there is a new set of friends and family that are mourning the loss of a friend or loved one. And that was the case with Cindy Watson. As we mentioned, she was that one customer who happened to be in the bank at the wrong time.
I said I felt like I was back in high school again, because we just had that much fun.
Marilyn Martin remembering her best friend, Cindy Watson. The 2 met at an antique auction and have been inseparable ever since.
We just clicked, instant.
She says Cindy loved making jewelry and had a special place in her heart for animals.
She told me they were the love of her life, and she had goats and chickens.
But her true love was her husband, Tony. The 2 met 5 years ago, and just 2 weeks ago, decided to get hitched.
I think they just both knew they couldn't live without each other.
Now, Marilyn says everyone will have to learn how to live without her. Cindy, the lone customer killed inside the bank Wednesday.
I've been saying all day, why? That's the only words I've said all day, is I just say, why? Why?
Marilyn struggling to cope with what her best friend and the 4 bank employees had to endure.
I try not to think about that, because I just can't imagine. I can't imagine what somebody would go through in a situation like that.
She wants everyone to know about the wonderful person loved by so many. Just one of the amazing friends now gone forever.
She said, we're just getting started. We are going to have some fun. That just kills me on the inside to think it's gone.
Yeah, Marilyn actually found out about her best friend's passing right before heading into work yesterday morning, and it just was an awful situation. She had to call out from work. And she acknowledges she's not the only one here in town. I mean, this whole community is really suffering. And as you drive around town or go to different restaurants, you see people just in this sense of sadness. And that is something that's going to be continuing in this community for some time to come. Rob?
All right, Bo, thank you very much. It's Bo Zimmer and Emerald Morrow reporting live for us down in Sebring. As we learn more about those 5 victims, we will continue to share their stories with you on air and online.